Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So this is going to be part 3 of a 4-part series, maybe a 5-part series, Defense 101, covered shells, cover 3 zone. I literally posted this video online earlier, but the sound, the voiceover that I'm doing right now wasn't showing, and as a result, I had to re-record the video. I'm somewhat embarrassed that I did this, but let's go and jump into this. It's basically understanding zone coverages. This is for people that are new to the game, or just people who just want to be a little bit better at the game. We're going to talk about cover 3 zone, basically the different variations of cover 3, and how to run these particular variations. And when I run these particular variations against like passing concepts that I run into, and probably the best method to actually jump into it. So let's go and jump into this video real quick, and I want to talk about one of the first coverages that is really hard to play against is cover 3 hard or flats. This is a great coverage to use in your scheme. Primarily, first and foremost, cover 3 is a really good first down type of play to use, because the inside defenders, everybody on the line, these guys right here, and also the safety that's in a yellow zone is essentially going to be going into run fits. So you're going to have, 8 guys that are actually going to be in run fits that are going to support the run, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of NFL defenses and college defenses use these type of coverages initially in first down situations, because you're going to have a bunch of people on the interior close to the running back that are going to be in run fits. Now the guys that are on the outside and then the middle safety, they're not in run fits. So in other words, they're going to fall back into their zone before they actually commit down to the run, because they have to protect against any kind of deep passes, play action passes, and stuff like that. That's going to extend the play vertically. But this is a really good defense to actually use in running situations, first down situations, second down situations. Now the variations of the defenses we're going to have essentially match defenses, basically floating defenses, which would be like zones defenses, and then obviously it's hard defense. And the responsibility of these outside defenders in these routes right here, they play hard flats, so they're going to actually come down, play the line of scrimmage. Usually when you play cover 3 hard flats, these yellow hook defenders are playing a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, closer to maybe about 5 yards or so, and what they're trying to eliminate is anything that's going to be going to the flats or small little stick routes, or what I use this particular defense for would be like a mesh concept, where you've got a wide receiver coming from one side to another side, maybe have some kind of a route here that stretches things vertically, running back out of the backfield, and then you have basically some guy sitting right here in the middle of the field. Cover 3 hard flat is the defense I use when I run into people like the spam mesh in their passing concepts, because what it does is it takes away that fast read to the running back, lets the running back clear the zone. By the time he clears the zone, usually I've got a defender in his face, and then all the mesh concept underneath, where you got all the meshing, essentially is getting covered up. And the only thing I really got to worry about is maybe an outbreak with this guy, or basically an in-break that actually gets into the void of the zone. Now, where are the weaknesses of cover 3 coverage, especially hard flats? Basically the sideline. Underneath the deep defender, these are going to be the areas that you want to be concerned about. And also, a lot of times what happens is the seams are going to be areas that you can attack, especially over this yellow zone. This is going to be areas that you can attack. So you can get a big chunk of yardage if you hit your opponent in these type of areas. But really, this defense in particular is designed to basically go ahead and protect for that underneath stuff that a lot of good players use. So if you see a lot of pros that play online, they actually will attack the flats and underneath and drag routes and stuff like that, because essentially what they're doing is they're looking to open the stuff over the top. Most Madden pros that play the game, they're not doing the one-play touchdowns right from the very beginning. They're working underneath the sticks. They're working underneath 10 yards and stuff like that with their passing concepts, and they're not always trying to get 20-yard gainers in these different type of situations unless their opponent is showing them stuff. So some of the hardest people to defend in this game are people that are willing to go and check things down. So here's an example of me waiting patiently, be able to hit that area, the sweet part of the zone. It's similar to a cover 2 area where you can actually get some good yards. But if you have some matching principles with this, and you press your deep thirds down, basically that will get picked up and actually take that read away from your opponent. But we're going to jump into a simple stick concept. and you're going to see this guy's going to come out, play this little flat. I'm going to have a vertical protection. This guy's going to kind of stick around this this little stick route, and this guy's going to be taken out, and this slant is going to have to get past a bunch of coverage to basically get to the sweep part of the zone. And by that time, most players have got a defender in their face because they've gotten some block sheds to the line. So you can see how long it does take to develop, and you can see that block shed going out. So this is a play that I like to go ahead and use this from. This simple mesh spot type of a concept more than anything else. And what happens is it doesn't really give your opponent a lot of time to read, and he has to go and squeeze things in. So that's why I love that particular play. It's really, really good to go and use against people that use a lot of mesh stuff. Now, where the weaknesses of this defense obviously is going to be these seam routes. So if you are using passing concepts and you want to go and try to attack 3 wide receivers on one side, where you can basically kind of attack the seams, is going to basically overwhelm a hard flat type of coverage. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll have basically seam route, I'll have a deep comeback route, and it puts this guy in conflict because this guy has to protect the top, and I can actually go ahead and and attack the seam, and then if the seam gets covered up, I can go ahead and attack the number 2 right there. So it's a good, easy passing concept that you can use against your opponent, but you can see what it does is if you do force people in the middle of the field, you've got that deep third that actually plays in and kind of balls in the middle of the field. So that's just another thing. Now cover 3 sky kind of works the same thing as cover 3 hard flats, except these guys are kind of floating. They're floating up. They're kind of protecting the seam. They're floating up. They're floating up, and they're floating up. So they're giving basically everything underneath, and they're giving up 5, 6 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards. It really depends on the coverages. So this is another good base defense to use in these type of first down type of situations, or just a good base defense to use against your opponent, just to see if they can read coverages, make right decisions, and stuff like that. But you can see the defenders, instead of actually coming down and playing underneath, they're basically floating up. So they kind of back off the line of scrimmage, back off the line of scrimmage, back off the line of scrimmage. So just another really good base defense to use if you don't really have an idea of what kind of a base defense to use, and you don't use match coverages and stuff like that. So right here, you can see the defender was in that area to play that, but you have tighter passing lanes. You've got to go ahead and chuck things underneath. And what's cool about this particular defense is that it's just a really good defense to use. It does open up, but it's just a little bit tighter, but it does give stuff checkdowns underneath, where opposed to hard flats should have defenders in that area. Now the weaknesses of this, once again, is similar weaknesses. So you've got that little area right here that you can hit. You got the seam area that you can hit against your opponent. So it's those deep sideline areas right here. And then with the floating defenses, you just basically have the underneath area that you can actually hit against your opponent. So those are kind of the areas. So corner streak concept, like right here is a way to go and attack that. And there's ways that an opponent can shift it up and make it more difficult. But you can see I can get Dell, 20-yard gainer down the field. Really, my read is if I get pressed, if the guy chucks me, that means he's got to stay towards the line of scrimmage. He's got to be a little bit closer if he chucks. But if the guy doesn't chuck and then floats up, that means he's got outright pass responsibility. So then I should probably go to my next progression. So I think we'll probably come up on the next adjustment that a lot of players will use online when you're using cover 3 and it's playing the sticks. This is a great way to actually confuse your opponent. So if you use hard flats, you use cover 3 sky, and then you use sticks, you can keep confusing your opponent and making difficult. So when would you want to use sticks? Maybe in a 3rd down situation or 4th down situation where a guy's got to pick up a bunch of yards. So if you basically sack someone, you get a coverage sack against him, get him into like a 2nd and 11 or 2nd and 17 or 2nd and 18 type of situation. You can jump into cover 3 sky if he's got to check things down. If he gets into a 3rd and 17 or 4th and 17, you can play sticks, because what happens is now these guys they float up and actually play the first down marker. So they're going to go float up until this first down marker right here, and that's where they're going to float to. And you're going to see they're not going to even chuck the guy with the sky coverage. So watch what happens right here. We to go ahead and jump into this particular play once again. See how this guy never chucked and now he's floating up into the passing lane. These guys are floating up. Up to the first down markers. They're saying you can throw anything underneath, but you're not getting above the sticks, and you can see the guy's going to be in position. And a lot of times they'll pick that ball off too. So it's a really easy adjustment to do. Third and long situations. If you get a guy behind the chains, it's just a really good play to jump into, because essentially it takes away all of their reads. So you know, basically I've got a deep comeback route on the backside right here. I'm going to read this guy if I'm trying to hit that deep comeback route, and just watch how he supports that deep comeback route as a progression. He actually floats up, and now he's actually protecting against this. So these guys, this guy's locked up. He's a deep comeback route. I can't throw that route. I can't throw this route. I've got just basically underneath, but you could see these two defenders can rally. So that's when you want to go ahead and use sticks. Really good thing to blend in, but you can see the defender actually comes down and plays it. So in those third and long, fourth and long situations, you can play sticks and really get a lot of easy stops and be hard. Now, once again, this is why most NFL concepts, you know, Madden basically has 4 verticals in its play fits, is because, you know, if you do play sticks, you are going to be in a situation where you can hit your opponent right here in the seams. The defenders are not going to play these seams correctly. So this is a situation where if you got a guy's playing sticks, you want to jump into verticals quickly, quick snap it, and try to go ahead and get that seam play. It's going to put that middle safety basically in a situation where he has to defend 2 routes that are so separated and separated out that they can't get across. So once again, let's just watch. You'll see this safety right here. He doesn't know what to do with this type of situation. He's got 2 guys seaming, and these guys have to play the sticks. So they're going to basically stop and let those 2 wide receivers actually pass it, and you can actually get you know, an easy touchdown. So I ran into a guy that was running a lot of cover 3, running sticks, and basically when I started making adjustments where I was playing these vertical routes in the seams, I was able to expose the guy for a touchdown, and it really changed the tide of the game, because it was a very tight game. But once I started exposing this guy, exposing his cover 3, it was a situation where I started running away with the game because of that. So yeah, that's basically easy adjustment. Now here's cover 3 match, and cover 3 match is kind of the antidote to anybody that runs seam routes against you, and it's a good thing to blend in and maybe in third down situations, just because it's really going to mess things up. And the way they've patched cover 3 over this season, cover 3 match is actually a pretty superior defense, and it really will take away a lot of the concepts I like to run online, and it is a very difficult defense to stop. So there are ways to go ahead and get past it, but if you play, you know, basically cover 3 match against the verticals, you would assume that these guys would let these guys go. But what they do is that once you get a guy that goes vertical, these routes will actually go ahead and carry with those guys too, and just completely carry, giving additional support to that deep safety to go ahead and actually do that. So, but you can't throw the ball early because you got a defender that's going to be in that area. You have to wait for that wide receiver to clear, and it gives more time for that safety to go ahead and clean up. So you can see how he's carrying. I could throw this ball right now, but you're waiting for this guy to, you know, get out of the area, and he carries with him, so that freezes me a little bit. But I'm like, okay, I can beat it now. But by that time, the safety actually has more time to react to it, because it's a longer pass. So that's what's unique about cover 3 match and how you blend this in. This would be like a third down, fourth down situation. You want to blend that in, or a second down situation. Also, what's cool about cover 3 is that a lot of times I like to use whip routes in my concepts. It's usually against man coverages, but look what it does with a whip route. It will basically go ahead and get a guy that's to the outside. So he lets the guy go ahead and cheat to the inside, but now he'll carry to the outside with that whip route, essentially matching that, making these corner routes and stuff like that a lot tighter to actually complete. So a lot of times it's just when you run these defenses, there's going to be situations where you're going to get beat or whatever. But if you're making it difficult for your opponent to actually do certain things because you're switching things up, it becomes very you know, hard for them to make decisions. And a lot of times what's going to happen is they will make mistakes. And on defense, it really is you're about getting stops or getting turnovers. You know, you're not always going to stop your opponent, but you just want to make sure that it make it difficult for them to do that. And if you get a turnover, you get a possession back, that's going to be huge for you winning games. Now, what I like about this too is that you see that these guys match This guy floats out and then it plays the underneath route. This pretty much locks up this particular passing concept completely. It's got guys all over the place. So this is a really good defense you probably want to blend into your defense, and maybe for second down types of situations and stuff like that, because you could jump into it. So guys, if you do like these type of videos, man, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I've got more videos I'll be rolling out to show you different strategies, defense, and whatnot. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.